Today, in the context of the urban environment, the three main problems are water supply, wastewater management, and reduction of energy use so as to reduce global warming. Urban water management in India is facing serious challenges both in ensuring adequate water supply and in treating and reusing used water. So, on the one hand, there are many households, especially those that are economically deprived, which are without an assured supply of water, and on the other hand, the surface and groundwater sources are severely polluted. Consequently, the sixth Sustainable Development Goal, which envisages availability and sustainable management of water for all by 2030, is unlikely to be achieved. Ironically, despite being naturally endowed with ample water resources and traditionally having husbanded them well for water security, the towns in the state of Chhattisgarh too are suffering from both these problems. The prevailing linear water economy, which involves taking raw water from a source and then treating it to make it into potable water, followed by supply to households for consumption and the eventual release of the used water into the environment as waste, has become both economically unviable and ecologically unsustainable. Consequently, there is a need for a circular economy of water in which waste is treated, recycled and reused, reducing the take, make and consume factors that bedevil the linear economy. Typically, it is easier to design and implement a circular water economy in a decentralized than in a centralized manner because the complexities and costs of conveying water and used water over long distances are eliminated. Chhattisgarh is naturally well endowed with water resources, with an average rainfall of 1300 millimeters or so and perennial rivers that drain it. The Mahanadi Basin is the largest, followed by the Godavari and Ganga basins and a small part of the Narmada and Brahmani basins. Due to high rainfall and good storage characteristics of the shallow aquifer, traditionally tanks and ponds were the means of both recharge and water storage. However, in urban areas, due to the flow of untreated used water into these tanks, they have become polluted, as is evident from the eutrophication that has taken place in this tank, Dalpat Sagar, in Jagdalpur town of Chhattisgarh. As is evident from the graphic, the under-recovery of costs of water supply is very high in the three towns of Raipur, Jagdalpur and Surajpur in Chhattisgarh. The costs of water supply were analyzed for the cities of Indore and Kolkata also for comparison, and there too the under-recovery of costs of water supply is very high. Towns in Chhattisgarh, except for the new greenfield capital town of Naya Raipur, do not have underground sewerage and sewage treatment facilities, and they use grey water flows in open or covered drains next to the roads along with the storm water. The black water is treated in septic tanks with the overflow going to these roadside drains, polluting both surface and groundwater as tests have shown. As per the standards, septic tanks should be cleaned every 2 years, but in practice they are cleaned on an average every 10 years, and so the efficiency of cleaning is very low. Moreover, the fecal sludge from the tanks is being emptied into the environment without any treatment in most cases. The only fecal sludge treatment plant in Ambikapur is treating only 2 kiloliters per day, whereas the prescribed treatment volume should be 189 kiloliters per day. The expenditures incurred on centralized sewerage and sewage treatment in the city of Indore, which has been declared as Water Plus for its better centralized treatment and reuse of used water, have been analyzed for understanding the financial aspects of such treatment because Chhattisgarh does not have sewerage and sewage treatment on a large scale that can be so analyzed. Indore is a city of 3 million people and has extensive sewerage systems. The expenditure required for providing quality sewerage and sewage treatment is Rs 151 crores per year. The expenditure estimated in the budget for 2019-20 was Rs 117.11 crores. However, the actual expenditure was only Rs 26.58 crores. Thus, there was a shortfall of 77.3% from the budget estimate and 82.4% from the standard expenditure norm. Consequently, like in the case of centralized water supply earlier, centralized used water management too is financially unviable. This is the case throughout the country and is mainly due to the inability of the urban local bodies to recover costs of water services from user charges and raise revenues through property taxes. As per the provisions of the United States Environment Protection Agency, the user charges for operation and maintenance of water services should not exceed 2.5% of the household expenditure for them to be affordable. However, in India only 5% of the households have monthly expenditure levels for which the monthly user charge required for cost recovery of proper centralized water services is 2.5% or less. Clearly, the linear economy model of centralized water management is economically unviable and ecologically unsustainable, and so a circular water economy is required. Decentralized urban water management begins with a part of the rainfall falling on the roof being harvested in a sump and the rest being recharged into the aquifer through appropriate structures. This water is then accessed through pumping up to an overhead tank for potable water supply. The grey used water from the bathrooms and kitchen is treated and reused for flushing of toilets and gardening through a dual plumbing system after a mix of filtration, aeration and chlorination. The black used water from the toilets containing feces is mixed with the green residue from the kitchen and digested anaerobically in a biodigester to produce gas that can be burned and used to heat water, while the slurry can be composted in twin pits and used as manure in the garden. In this way, not only is the used grey water recycled, but the green solid residue and black water contributes energy to reduce fossil fuel use and global warming. Planning of decentralized urban water management requires the estimation of the water balance right from the household to the city level so as to determine whether it is feasible. The water balance has been estimated for the city of Raipur based on its annual rainfall, planning area and water demand for household and industrial use. The total dependable water availability at 75% of rainfall is 476 million liters per day, which is double the total water demand of 239 million liters per day for potable and non-potable household water use and industrial use. Moreover, the treatment and reuse of used water both at the household and the industrial level further augments water supply. Therefore, the water demand can easily be met through decentralized urban water management. The latest guidelines of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs of the Government of India stress on the establishment of a circular water economy to ensure equity and security of urban water services. An added concern fact is that of environmental resilience in the face of ecological challenges like climate change. These guidelines also focus on decentralized urban water management to supplement the existing centralized urban water management systems. Moreover, there are extensive legal provisions for decentralized water management in building bylaws. However, there is not enough support for this among planners and implementers, and this needs to change if decentralized urban water management is to be established. Currently, there is a limited ecosystem for installation and maintenance of decentralized systems, and so they are not being installed, and even if some are, they are not functioning properly due to lack of proper maintenance, and this situation needs to be rectified. There is a big lack of awareness among citizens regarding the benefits of and need for decentralized water systems, and without a massive awareness building program, these systems cannot be successful. Finally, a decentralized system has to be implemented on a pilot basis with the participation of all stakeholders in a small town of Chhattisgarh like Surajpur to kickstart the process, and thereafter it can be replicated on a larger scale once the standard operating procedures have been perfected.